Hi, Kate. Welcome back to the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. I haven't gotten to say that yet because you're our first repeat interview, but welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited. The last one was really fun, so I'm excited to chat with you again.
Yes, and we got such positive feedback from the last one and kind of people wanting to hear more from you. You presented at the IHP Live, and I think lots of people were kind of loving your content that you presented there. And you're also going to be co-teaching Business Mastery Experience with Dr. Cabral, otherwise known as BME, coming up this year. So we wanted to kind of have you on to announce that and also talk about another great topic. So welcome back.
Thank you. Excited.
Yeah. So for any listeners that maybe don't know you or kind of, hadn't listened to our first interview, maybe they're new to this podcast. Would you give us a little bit of an introduction kind of as to who you are, what you do, and kind of like your niche in this whole business health coaching world?
Absolutely. So first of all, I'm an IHP level 2, and I've also gone through mastery, and I'm very, very passionate about the IHP mission and everything that you guys stand for. So I also have a background in business and the digital world. I've been running businesses pretty much my entire life, and I am very, very passionate about how to connect the digital side of things with health and wellness to be able to allow IHPs and health coaches to reach more people. So I help health coaches, IHPs, improve their digital presence, focusing on the back end as well as the front end. So I operate the back end of businesses, and I help set up the foundations to make your business more successful by focusing on email marketing, your automation systems, things like that, as well as the front end of the actual social media and marketing. So I kind of tie all together to make health coaches more successful and be able to help more people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you work with health coaches, but you're also kind of some of the, brains behind the operation of some pretty big influencers as well. And so you're very good at what you do. So we're excited to have you back.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I also work with some brands that are in the health and wellness space to kind of help them optimize and understand how to communicate with their audience and how to kind of utilize all the tools that are available, because the digital world can feel very overwhelming, but I also try and help minimize overwhelm by narrowing down the programs and helping people kind of fine tune things so that once you set it up once, you don't really have to worry about it again. And then you can focus on the things that are going to have the biggest impact in your business.
Yes, absolutely. And I think like just by default, so many people that come into health coaching, right? Like we're kind of like the feelers, we're the empaths. We like to just like talk and help. And I can speak from my own experience, like all of that makes me good at what I do, but I'm terrible with technology and logistics and like all of that other stuff, just because of the nature of what like my strengths are. My weakness is all of that stuff. And I think so many coaches kind of get lost in that, digital technology world just by kind of default as to what their strengths are.
Exactly. And I struggled with that years ago. But I love the tech side. I love the back end because I understand how important it is to really being able to grow and to scale and to save yourself time. I struggled with health since I was 8 years old. I've been on a very, very long journey. And when you are struggling with your own health, it cuts down the amount of time you have in a day to be productive. And so you learn how to kind of maximize your time. And that's where my whole technology side comes in, and my optimization side is like trying to use the time that I have to make the biggest impact, like I mentioned. And you're right. I've talked to so many health coaches this year, so many, and most of them are struggling with the same things. And a big part of it, and that we're going to talk about today, is decisiveness and making decisions and kind of narrowing down, because like I said, the digital world can be very overwhelming and you may not know where to start. There's so many social platforms, there's so many different options, and it can cause decision paralysis that'll keep you from moving forward. And I really want to help you kind of take action, make those decisions and gain clarity so that you aren't stuck, so that you can move forward, get more clients, and start to turn this into a real business and build.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So kind of on that topic, let's kind of expand a little bit on what you just mentioned, which is kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about today, which is gaining clarity on those next steps, right? And so some coaches just like get their certification, they start seeing clients, then it's kind of like, okay, like, do I just keep doing this? So give us a little bit of insight as to kind of from your, standpoint, what are the importance of, kind of gaining that clarity, and what does that look like?
Yeah. So one of the most important things before you get started, in my opinion, is having some of the backbones set. It's really hard once you get certified if you don't have a website and you don't have your automated scheduling system set up. If you don't have those things, you can do all the promotion in the world, but you're going to flounder and you're going to waste a lot of time trying to, email and call people one-on-one and set all those things up unless you have the automated system in place. And so it's something I recommend actually before people even get certified. If I say, as soon as you start your certification process, start building your website, start building some of these foundations so that once you get your certification, they're already ready. And then you can move forward on actually the external promotion, because you can do all the posting in the world. You can do all the reach out and do all that. But if you don't have your back end system set and organized, once you get certified, you're going to feel so overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that you need to do that it's going to paralyze you. And that's what I want to kind of help people avoid, is that paralysis of overwhelm. And so to me, some of the first things are getting your website built. And that, I know IHP offers that service, but there are a lot of other website builders out there that are simple to do, and you can kind of go off of the same formula. That's one of the reasons BME is so powerful, is because it walks you through every page of your website and what every page should be, what should be on every page, the images, like the automation that should be set in there. It kind of walks you through all of that. It also walks you through all the different tools you need to kind of connect things and set up your fully automated system. And so that's one of the first couple modules of BME, is teaching you how to do that. And so I always say the first thing you want to do is get your website built. And you don't have to have a 10-page, 20-page, fully professional thing 100% done before you start to drive traffic and bring in clients. If you're ready and you're starting to get interest from people, create the first 3 to 4 pages. And then the most important other thing I think you start with is your automated scheduling system. And that is very simple to set up and to integrate into your website. So if you have those 2 things, you can start seeing clients, you can start the process as you continue to build the other things. So those are always kind of the first 2, in my opinion, and then you can build on that. Yes. But if you don't have those 2, you're going to use a lot of time, and it's going to cause a lot of overwhelm as you start to see people. And you're going to, instead of taking 2 hours per client, you're going to end up spending 3 to 4. You just want to have all that buttoned up. And if you're doing it yourself instead of hiring professionals to do it, it could take you 8 hours, 16 hours to completely finish a website. So as long as you've got photos and you've got written content, there are a lot of good tools out there that will allow you to create that for yourself. I've built websites on 7 or 8 different platforms from scratch. I've built web stores, websites, everything, and you can learn them pretty easily. So I don't want you to shy away from that, thinking that it's really overwhelming. Yeah. So that's always my first 2 steps.
Yeah, that's great. And I think too, so simplifying it for ourselves as the coaches, but also with a lot of people that are coming to see a health coach, like they're overwhelmed, they're not feeling well, they're not like their best. And so if you have kind of this, haphazard system of like, oh, I'll, email and text, and there isn't like this clear, concise, like, this is who I am, this is how you schedule with me. Sometimes like it could even be too overwhelming for the client to figure out, how the heck am I supposed to get in touch with you? You seem great, but like, where's the landing spot? Right. And so it helps the coach, but it also helps the client kind of feel like, okay, this is an easy, like, set up and go type of situation.
100%. I think the automated system in your About Me page and the package page that talks about exactly what's included when someone schedules with you, that is going to be so important. And if someone people a lot of times don't want to talk to a human. They want to schedule something through an automated system. It's just the way that our world is. So if you've got a simple automated scheduling thing where someone could choose the date, choose the time, fill it in, and that's it, and then they just join the call 2 days later, you're going to get a lot more people signing up than if they think that they need to call you to schedule and then they have to pay over the phone. If you've got a professional scheduling system set up, you're going to remove barriers to entry. That's with every website I build. One of the most important parts is removing roadblocks and barriers to entry. And if you can do that, you're going to convert more clients. They're going to feel more confident in your professionalism and moving forward with you.
Absolutely. Yes. And it makes them kind of feel more confident in your professionalism and all of that. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Okay. So those were kind of the first two steps. Do you have others? Does it depend on kind of where the coach is at that, things could look a little bit different at step 3 and 4, or?
Yeah, the roadmap is slightly different depending where you're already at. If you were already active on social media, if you already, post every day or put stories out every day, when I'm trying to help someone build the back end of their business to get full automation set up to really maximize their time, I always talk about spending time creating evergreen content and compounding content, as well as evergreen assets. So when I talk about evergreen, that means something you do once and you don't have to touch it again, and it's going to work for you for the rest of the life of your business. Now, that could be a YouTube video, that could be a podcast, that could be an email automation system. I'm huge on email marketing, and email marketing is so important. So I like to talk a lot about the difference between owned traffic and borrowed traffic. And I'm just going to touch on this quickly because I just believe it's one of the most important things for any business owner to understand is if you spend all of your time on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or any of the social platforms, and you're putting out content every single day, those platforms are only going to show your content to people for 24 to 48 hours at most. Now, if you put all your effort into content that's being shown for a very short period of time on a platform that could shut you down at any minute, what if you put all your effort for 5 years into building that audience and all of a sudden Instagram shuts you down? They're all gone. Poof. All those potential customers and clients in the future are totally gone. Now imagine since day one, you started gathering their email addresses. Your email list is your number one asset as a business. Having an email list means that if Instagram shuts down, Facebook shuts down, all the social media platforms shut down, you still own that list, which means you still have the ability to communicate with the people on that list. And your most avid followers and loyal customers and clients are going to be in your email list. So it also gives you the ability to tell deeper stories, because that's the way you're going to emotionally connect with people, is telling stories and relating it to what you're promoting. So building your email is super important. So I always talk to people, if they've got their website, they've got their automated scheduling system, the next step is always to add email signups and to create a welcome series that when someone signs up, they trigger one a day or one every 2 days for the first week or two. And that welcome series is actually really important, because you're going to get a lot of people who don't really know you very well signing up for your list. They're going to sign up because you offered them a freebie, or they're really interested in reading your next blog. They're going to sign up for a lot of different reasons. And some of them, they're going to be people who know you really well, have been following you for years. But some of them are going to be totally new people who know nothing about you. And if you don't nurture them and connect with them in the first 7 to 14 days, they've forgotten who you are. Mm-hmm. And you've lost the ability to turn them into lifetime fans. If every day for the first 7 days, you are telling your stories and providing value, you're not selling anything. You're providing all your best pieces of content. You're tying in your most powerful stories and putting a picture of you and your family and creating that connection, they will remember you for the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. And anytime that they are looking for health services, you will be top of mind. So if you utilize that first 7 to 14 days, you're going to build lifetime customers, and they are going to stay on your list, because what you just did is you provided so much free value that they are going to be much more willing to purchase from you or sign up with you as a coach moving forward whenever they need it. So email marketing is always one that I try and convince people of right from the get-go, is because you don't want to risk losing all the work you did on social platforms, because our industry, you say a couple wrong words, we're more at risk than other industries of getting shut down or shadow banned. And your email list is much more safe.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's super important to kind of keep in mind. I think with social media, like it kind of gives everybody this like instant gratification feedback, right? And we forget that like that could be gone tomorrow, and that something like email is kind of your forever content, or, a blog or something like that. And yeah, the social media stuff, I think we all take it for granted because it's constantly there, but anybody could censor you. Any platform could be kind of taken away tomorrow. And then like, that's all of your work, right? So yeah, super important to keep in mind. What else of nuggets of information, wisdom do you want to tie into all of this?
So I think some of the most important things, kind of going back to the beginning, even before we talked about the email, the website, I think there's some really important questions that you need to answer for yourself. And I provide these 5 or 6 questions to everyone I talk to, because when you're trying to make decisions to move forward, a lot of the time you aren't clear on some of these things. And it means your messaging isn't clear, you kind of flounder. And so one of the first ones I always ask, and that's probably one of the biggest ones you could answer, is what problem you want to help people solve. If you understand very clearly what problem you want to solve, you will be able to tailor your content around it. You'll be able to write the right type of blogs. Your website will be able to reflect that, and you'll be able to really niche down and understand your ideal client so much better. And the better you can understand your client and what's in their brain, what their problems are, what their roadblocks are, what questions they have, what their end result or desire is, the more successful you're going to be, not just in converting clients, but in your ability to help them. So that's always a huge, huge one, is what problem do you want to help people solve? And who do you want to help? So those two kind of tie together. So if you really want to help, and your specialty is hormones, and you want to help menopausal women rebalance their hormones, then you've just kind of narrowed down both of those things. And that will give you a lot of clarity on the assets you're going to develop moving forward, what your program is going to look like, the testing that you're going to recommend most of the time, and what you want to really specialize in. You'll also kind of be able to tailor your continued learning to that niche. So those two are really, really important. And the next one is kind of going to help you determine and save a lot of time. And it's about the type of content you're most confident and comfortable producing. So if your goal, let's say, is to be active on Instagram, and you want to post every single day, but you're terrified of being on video, understanding yourself really well and what you're confident in and comfortable in and can be effective and efficient in is really important. So there's 3 primary types of content. There's written content, blogs, emails, just anything in the written word. There's video content, which right now is being favored by all the platforms and allows you to kind of use one video and repurpose it to a lot of other things. And then there's voice content, which is podcasts. And so if you make the decision that, I'm going to dive headfirst into video, but you're not really confident on video, you're going to spend double the time or triple the time that it would take you if, for instance, you're more comfortable writing. So being really clear with yourself and really digging deep and figuring out like, yes, I want to do this, but is it going to cause me anxiety on a daily basis? You want to do what you're confident in. So if you know and you're confident on video and you can pump out videos and reels all the time, then absolutely go that direction. But if it terrifies you and it causes you daily stress and anxiety, then move more toward a content medium that doesn't cause you stress. Because again, like it's about consistency. You need to be consistent in business. It's very important. You don't want to post once and then disappear for a month. You want to be consistent and focus on content types that you can be consistent with.
Yes. And the consistency, whatever you're doing that isn't going to cause a significant amount of burnout, you're going to be more consistent with, right? And so like whatever you feel more energetically aligned with is going to allow you to be more present, more, consistent with your content, which sounds like it's incredibly important as far as, attracting clients, customers, so on and so forth. Yeah. So, because I think burnout in this space it's a little bit more real because we're doing like emotional work with people as well as, trying to produce certain amounts of content too. So it's really important to consider which one, you jive with best, concentrating on that one first for sure.
Yeah. And then if you get more confident and comfortable with your voice, your face, all of that, and you've got more time, you can dive into a different medium. But I talk a lot about repurposing content as well. So let's say you start with the video. That one video can be turned into a podcast. It can be turned into a blog. It can be turned into a newsletter. It can be turned into all these different things. It can turn into a whole web of stuff. So a lot of the time starting with video is the best case scenario. But if you're not confident and comfortable on video, then you start somewhere else and maybe you build up your confidence. You do some test videos, you record stuff that you're never going to post just to get more confident. So that is a really important one because it kind of leads to the next question that I always ask people. And I'll dive into that now is like, how many hours do you want to spend doing one-on-one coaching versus building other aspects of your business? So we all know that the one-on-one coaching, let's say you've got a 60-minute appointment, you need to build in 45 minutes to an hour around that for prep work, for, the write-up, for kind of all the stuff you need to do around it. So how many sessions do you really want to do per day? And how much time does that leave you to build the other aspects of your business? So if you say, okay, I'm comfortable and confident doing one client appointment a day. So that takes away, let's say 2 hours of your time. And then do you have an additional 2 hours you can put toward building your business and marketing your business and creating content? And if that's the case, again, it goes back to content creation and being really confident in what you're doing, because you need to understand how much time you want to spend generating clients, but also if you have additional business models you want to add to your business, because if you're only spending 1 hour a day with clients, that opens up a lot of time for you to create other revenue streams for yourself. And that's something I talked about in my last podcast and IHP Live. All of that is that as health coaches, we have a lot of opportunity for adding additional business models to our business to supplement our income streams. And if you've got an extra 3-4 hours a day you're willing to spend building your business, you can invest your time in some of those additional revenue streams.
Yeah. So, if someone's listening and they're like, ooh, what are those? Could you don't have to dive deep into them, but like name a few that would kind of be, because I agree. I feel like health coaches specifically have so many at their fingertips.
Absolutely. And one of the simplest and most prevalent right now is affiliate marketing, because you can tie it into your social media. You can tie it into your newsletters. So affiliate marketing is huge, and recommending the products that you already use. So, you're going to be recommending testing, you're going to be recommending supplements, but there's also other tools like air purifiers and clean cookware and things that you're already using in your daily life to lower your toxic load that your clients and followers will benefit from as well. So affiliate marketing is a huge one. You can also develop ebooks, journals, workbooks, online courses. You can do workshops that are, a 2-hour Zoom that's walking people through stuff. You can get really creative. You can write a reel book. I love the digital asset side of things because, again, that's an ebook, an online course, because you're putting 8 hours to 50 hours into something that you now own and is an asset for you to sell for the rest of your life. So it might take you, like I said, 8 hours of time. You sell it for $27 to $2,000, and you can then have it as kind of a passive revenue stream or even an active revenue stream that you're promoting pretty heavily, either just through social, or you can even run paid ads to it. So there's a lot of options. Affiliate marketing is the simplest one to get into without having to spend a lot of additional time creating assets. But I love assets. And I think like you said, for health coaches, there's a lot of options.
Yes. Yeah. And like you mentioned before, like taking that and then like repurposing, 4 sentences into an Instagram post, or, it's already written and it can be, repurposed in other places too. So yeah, I think it sounds like, getting creative and purposeful with time and energy is really important, because that's, kind of what we all have to work with, and being able to kind of tap into what things can I be really creative about, and what can I be purposeful with my time, so that you're not burning out and kind of just ending up feeling overwhelmed with the whole thing.
Exactly. And I always recommend someone to just choose one. Do not try and do 5 at the same time. Choose one, finish it, and then you can move on to the next. But if you really just dive in, set aside one Saturday and just finish a digital asset and then put it up on your website, put it in your link in bio program, start to talk about it in stories and just promote that you have this, you're going to start getting sales, and it'll pay for the time it took to create it very quickly. So then everything beyond that is pure profit. Mm-hmm. So it's a really, really amazing opportunity for health coaches to have that. And so when you've got time, if you're just at the beginning and you, like I said, you understand yourself and you know that you only energetically can handle 1 coaching appointment a day or 2 coaching appointments a day, you've got plenty of additional time. So like you said, it's being purposeful with that time and not just seeing all the different options, is just choosing one and moving forward.
Yes. So. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, with the whole like comparison, imposter syndrome, like all of that, right? Like you can look at someone and be like, oh, they're doing so well with, reels, like they've grown their following exponentially and and like, I should do that. If I want this, I should do that. Right. But really honing in and thinking to yourself, like, what is true for me and what am I going to be most energetically aligned with, so I don't get burned out. Like, I love that point that you made.
Yeah. And I think that I struggled with for a long time as well, is just, I was seeing all these people being super successful at a lot of different things. So I tried a lot of different things, and I realized very quickly which ones just really didn't align with me. I built entire businesses that I no longer touch because I realized that it just didn't align with me and what I wanted to spend my time doing. So it's really also understanding what you want to spend your time doing. Do you want to spend your time creating content to post on social media? Do you want to spend your time learning a new skill that can allow you to kind of do something on the back end? I also didn't mention the other options for generating additional income streams, which are helping other people in our industry. So there are a lot of people out there right now who want help creating content, who want help creating social posts. If you're not confident yourself in being out there and putting this out, or you don't want to build as quickly maybe as some other people, you can help others by providing virtual assistant tasks or content creation for them. So again, there's just so many options. You just got to get creative and choose one and move forward. Don't try and do more than that.
Yep. Great advice. Okay. Any other little
so
that you
the last one is about filling skill gaps. I love this because I am a lifelong learner. I love to learn and fill gaps. And what that means is that if you recognize in your business something that makes you really uncomfortable, there are a lot of different aspects to running a business. We are all entrepreneurs here, health coaches. We are all starting our own businesses as entrepreneurs. And there are a lot of different aspects to running the business or to running your social media or email marketing. And if you aren't confident in something, the way to master that confidence is to learn it and truly master a new skill. So I've taken over 100 online courses in the last few years about digital marketing, about email marketing, social, literally every aspect of running a business to fill any skill gaps that I had. And that's given me the confidence to do absolutely anything in my business. I could run every single aspect of my business from start to finish for multiple different types of businesses because I have filled my skill gaps through online courses, YouTube videos, blogs, you name it. You can learn absolutely anything. So I always tell people to identify the things that make them the most uncomfortable and then find and learn them. Once you do that, you're going to be a lot more confident in your abilities moving forward to help people, but also to run your business without stress and anxiety. If you're stressed that you don't know how to write an email, you're not going to write it. It's going to be a massive roadblock for you. So to remove those roadblocks, you just need to learn the skill. And like I said, there's unlimited places out there. Just Google how to learn email marketing or, one of those things. I watch online courses and tutorials every single day.
Yes. Yeah. And Dr. Cabral, I think recently did a post about like anxiety and how the quickest way to like relieve it is to pick one thing that like you need to do and do it. Right. And so if somebody has like lots of angst about starting a business or like what it entails, like choosing one skill to get better at, right, is kind of being proactive. And then in turn helps to kind of relieve that angst about, everything that they need to do if they just pick one thing and kind of keep chipping away at it. Yeah, absolutely.
100%. And again, that's probably the biggest takeaway of everything is like getting clarity on who you are, what meshes with you energetically, and then just choosing one thing and taking action and then not even thinking about all those other things. Because, if you laser focus on one thing, you're going to get it done much quicker. And then you can move on to the next one. If you try and do 20 things at once, none of them will get done. And you'll just get to your end goal faster if you take one step at a time.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. The podcast episode that actually airs today, the day that we're recording, it's a gentleman, and I think the name of it is Take Messy Action. Like he's kind of like, don't try to do everything, like just start with one thing, even if it doesn't feel perfect yet, right? Just like do one thing to start, get really good at that, and then move on. So yeah, I think it's so important to drive home. Okay. Anything else?
I could go on.
That was a lot, Kate.
I know. I don't want to overwhelm again. I could really go on forever. So I think that's a great start. And I love that that podcast is coming out today because it's about massive imperfect action. It doesn't have to be perfect and you can always tweak it later, but just getting it done, getting it out there and building your confidence, not just in the health side of things, the business side of things as well, because you can always read more books. You can always watch more videos. You can always learn more on the health side. It's an ever evolving industry. We all know that. There's just things changing all the time. But on the business side, it's the same. There's new tools, there's new technology, but you really only need to understand the basics of a lot of it to get yourself set up. And then as you get more confident and comfortable, you can start to learn and master other things. You can become a master at Instagram by taking 2 Instagram courses from other masters. So, you just need to find those resources, keep learning both on the health and business side of things. and you're going to be a lot more successful, and you're going to be a lot happier. I think that's the most important thing. You're going to have a lot more fun in your business, be a lot happier. You're going to reduce the overwhelm and the stress and the anxiety, and you'll be able to help a lot more people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So if everybody's listening and they want to kind of, find out more, connect with you, as we mentioned at the beginning, you will be co-teaching Business Mastery Experience with Dr. Cabral this coming year. But where else could kind of people connect with you if they were interested?
Yeah, so they can always reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram is Root Cause Kate, and I do answer questions there. But yeah, the business mentorship experience is going to be really amazing because the program is already incredible. And Dr. Gabral's seen, 250,000 clients in his business. He's a professional. He's so good at gaining clients and taking them through programs. And I'm adding my digital side of things. I'm going to teach revenue streams, email marketing, going really deep into understanding your client, because the more you understand your client, the better you can communicate with them, the more you're going to be able to convert new clients. And so I go really deep into some of the stuff that we talked about today, but a lot more on the content creation and all that fun stuff. So it's really like a masterclass that takes you from A to Z. So by the end of 6 months, you have a fully functioning automated business. Your social is totally on point. You've got your emails, everything is ready, and you are flying. So it's going to be a really, really cool program. I'm really excited about. But again, feel free to email me, and we can keep touch there.
That's great. And I obviously perceive it as a master experience because I called it business mastery experience, but it's actually, I think that's what I said, but it's business mentorship experience, otherwise known as, we kind of call it BME. So yes, great.
I think it's both. Yes, it is definitely a mastery program. It's a mastery program with mentorship from both Dr. Cabral and I, who've got very different experience and specialties, and kind of combining them, which is what I love and do, is what's going to, help people be even more successful. So I'm very, very excited about it. And I'll be teaching workshops every month and be in the exclusive Facebook group and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Well, all those students will be lucky to have you. Thank you so much for being a guest again on the Integrative Health Coach Success podcast, and for, again, sharing all your wisdom. We so much appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.